KFAN.
Welcome back, 9 to noon, Nordo in for PA, and joining us now from Fort Myers, twinsdaily.com, Gleeman and the Geek podcast, longtime fan family member John Bonus is here with me. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Nordo?
Very well, very well. And I appreciate you on short notice giving me a little bit of time this morning. I just want to, of course, just start with the news of the day here. Pablo Lopez, a few hours ago, it's feeling like, okay, this is maybe precautionary. Maybe it's nothing. We shall see. And now the news coming out that season-ending surgery may be on the table or is on the table. Where are we at with that, John? It's kind of shocking news.
There is the exact quote was a strong likelihood. Those are the two words that Jeremy Zoll put in there. They're going to get a second opinion, but there is the other quote was significant tear in his tendon, and so it's not looking good. Pablo talked a little bit about the process of getting a second opinion and what that was about, and essentially he said is an experience to try and clear up any gray area, whether or not there's any possibility of trying to pitch through this or not. But it sounds real unhopeful. It sounds like it's especially kind of given the timing on this. This is if you got he's under contract through 2027. And so, this is a 12 to 15 month general, recovery period. That would, if he were to undergo the knife right now, he might be available. Now, it would be the first year after Tommy John surgery. That can sometimes be a little tricky too. But, he would be available potentially at the beginning of next year. But if they try to play through something like this, they try to do a more conservative approach, then it could, potentially cost him. You could be ineffective this year and then absent from the second half of the year and absent for next year as well. And so it's just everybody's sort of on the same page that, like I said, the words were a strong likelihood that he's probably going to be undergoing the knife.
And it's just devastating, isn't it, John, when you think about everything that this team has gone through over the last year, and you got Falvey leaving and all of that, the fire sale, and you're trying to cling to names, right? It's like, at least we still got Joe Ryan. At least I can go watch Buck. And Royce Lewis is a hitting coach now, so pumped about him. Just stay healthy, brother. And we got Pablo. We have some things upon which, despite maybe not being competitive, but we can put something on the field. This is absolutely devastating.
Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of discussion about, the changes in leadership here. And Buck talked a little bit about it from a player's standpoint, how nice it was to have Ryan and Lopez and him and Bailey Ober and Ryan Jeffers back to sort of be a core around this team. But there's also been a whole sea change of changes at the leadership level. We've got a new owner, we've got a new head of baseball operations, we've got a new manager. And what yesterday was in the morning was a team embracing that. They had the sort of kickoff speech by Derek Shelton, and then something that's unusual, they had a kickoff speech by Tom Pohlad. And, my understanding, the players were really, really excited about this season and about the expectations that, in particular, Tom Pohlad is thrusting upon this team in terms of being competitive. And Pablo Lopez, in his press conference that we just came out of, said, it was for him, it was like going from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
That quick. On that opening day when hitters report, they open up the stadium down here. Like all the rest of the days, you can go and watch people on the fields and so on, and there's areas that you can watch the players and so on. But on opening day, they have an open house. They open up the concessions. All the concessions are half price. They've got a big crowd around here. And the big thing that you see for the first time is you see live BP. That means you got Twins pitchers facing Twins hitters. You can have Pablo Lopez facing Byron Buxton, right? And one of those first pitchers out there was going to be Pablo Lopez. And, midway through his first live BP session on day one of full camp, he has to cut it short. And a little bit later, he gets the MRI, and now he's out for the season. Or strong likelihood of being out for the season.
Strongly likelihood indeed.
Yeah, it is a gut punch. There's no question. It's a gut punch exactly when this team and, frankly, this organization does not need that gut punch.
And you mentioned it briefly there as part of that just kind of the overview of what lays before us now. I do wonder how this resonates in the locker room, though. I mean, just in the dressing, in the clubhouse moving forward, just having to endure that, finding optimism. Tom Pohlad standing there giving a great conversation. Everyone's like, all right, this is like the seventh Pohlad I've been looking up to over the last decade. But okay, Tom, the new guy, let's go. I guess he's hands on. And now this happens, just how that resonates through the clubhouse. That's brutal, man.
Well, we're about to go into the clubhouse, and we'll also get Shelton's thoughts on it as well. But, just talking amongst people, of course, it was sort of like, I hope they're learning this news from somebody else, because the last thing we want as beat reporters is to go in there and tell people, oh yeah, your ace is out for the year. We like to get their reaction from it, from after they've heard the bad news from some other source, because it is terrible news. Now, it's terrible news it's also, some opportunity for some of the younger pitchers. The one thing that, came out of last year was, they didn't have Lopez for a long stretch of last year, and they didn't have Bailey Ober, at his best for most of the year. And as a result, what they found was that the pitching depth that they thought they had wasn't quite as deep as they wanted it to be. And so they went out and made a couple of trades at the trade deadline to acquire some other, ready for the majors type pitchers. And so we thought we were going to have a four-man competition for one spot in the rotation. Those four people being Zebby Matthews, David Festa. Those are the two that were already with the organization and high expectations last year and didn't really thrive last year. But then also the new guys they acquired, which is Taj Bradley and Mick Abel. Taj Bradley from the Rays and Mick Abel from the Phillies. Yeah. We thought we were going to have four guys competing for one spot. Now it looks like we're going to have four guys competing for two. That they'll be joining, we think, Joe Ryan atop the rotation. Bailey Ober, hopefully he seems to be, recovering nicely from the hip injury that he, devastated his 2024 season or 2025 season. And Simeon Woods Richardson, who also showed, a steady hand for the last 2 years and a lot of real promise with a new splitter in August and September last year. So, it's not a death knell for the starting pitching, but starting pitching could still be very good. But because there's so many other questions about the team, the starting pitching has to be great. Yeah. And you just lost your ace.
You just lost him. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, strong likelihood as of this particular moment. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to direct people. You already got content up, it looks like, on Twins Daily about this. I appreciate in short order. You're headed into the clubhouse here momentarily. We'll continue to, of course, follow you for updates as this unfolds.
Anytime. We'll probably be also dropping a emergency podcast on Patreon probably within the next hour between Aaron Gleeman and I. So we'll give you, if you want an hour of depressing Pablo Lopez talk, make sure you go out there and sign up right now.
Hey, thanks as always, man. I'll catch up with you soon.
Talk to you, bye.
That's John Bonus, Twins Daily. Wow. He was on, he jumped on with the power trip, I think, earlier today. And it was kind of like, all right, well, it wasn't great that he left midway through live BP yesterday. That's not preferred, but, maybe it's precautionary. We'll see. There may have been an MRI last night. Maybe there's one happening today. The significant tear in the elbow and a strong likelihood that he will have season-ending injury. And Bonus nailed it, of course. So make sure you tune in to Gleeman and the Geek, their emergency Patreon podcast with, as he mentioned, more depressing commentary on this injury. What a freaking disaster. I mean, what a disaster. The last, not just today as it pertains to on the field, but just how this thing has gone, really going back to the day that the Twins were eliminated from the playoffs in 2023. What a freaking disaster this thing is. That stinks, man. Pablo, great dude in here. I didn't get to meet him, but I heard him play in the initials game. He's been a somewhat, not regular, but we've had him on at least a handful of times when we do the bit with the Twins and we pass around the phone. We love doing that. And with the cold calls that we've done. But get to know Mick Abel, get to know Taj Bradley, and get to know a very different looking Twins pitching staff in 2026. So that's the fresh news, courtesy of John Bonus, and of course widely reported. I saw Gleeman of The Athletic has some content on it as well. So follow them for all the updates. But Pablo Lopez, that elbow might be over for 2026, and then consequently part of 2027, his final year under contract with the Twins due to this injury. So we'll break here. We'll come back. More talkbacks and talkers here, as it is indeed a Talker Tuesday, 9 to noon on the Fan.
legendary band's one unforgettable summer night. Santana and the Doobie Brothers are coming to Mystic Lake Amphitheater August 27th. Don't miss a bucket list show under the stars. Tickets go on sale Friday, 10 a.m. KFAN.com keyword calendar for all the details.
Twins better make those beers $1. Am I right?
Dollar beer specials at Target Field. Come one, come all. Talkback machines. It's a Talker Tuesday. I didn't know this was going to be part of it. Just kind of messing around with Saucy at the open of the show. Just, hey, again, the Viking, it's kind of proved out with these talkbacks today. I appreciate all of them, but it's really, you can kind of talk yourself into any name in terms of what the Vikings might do in terms of raising the level of the quarterback room and what that looks like. I saw a text 64686. It's ridiculous people are done with JJ after 10 bleeping starts. I'm not done with JJ, but in terms of raising the level of the quarterback room, what does that mean? And in the broad spectrum of what they can do. If we're told after mini camps and as the spring continues on here that there is an incredible amount of faith and support around the growth of J.J. McCarthy, and he ends up being the starter week 1, I'm all good with that. I just need to see it. He wasn't on the field enough in 2025, and a lot of what we saw on the field wasn't good enough. And then there was kind of that, just kind of that blip in the course of his starts where it's like, oh, we're on to something here. Dallas and a couple other games, the way that he handled business at the Lions when he returned from injury. There were some good moments with McCarthy. A lot of turnovers, a lot of bad moments. So if they want to, if they roll into week 1 with JJ McCarthy, I still have to trust that he's proven the things that we don't get to see, that he's proven those things out, that he's ready to do it. And again, that is the best option. That's the best of any of these options in any of these names, is that it's going to be JJ McCarthy. Other texts, Clayton in Rochester. This Bonus must have had a preposterous statement at one point about Ohtani.
He did. It was a good one.
Yeah, now, because Clayton texts in, now that we're down a starting pitcher, is there room for Ohtani on the Twins roster? Yes, technically, I think they are looking at that, potentially. Ask Bonus if he still thinks Ohtani doesn't fit. Another text message.
Here it is.
Now, I'll just, on the one hand, pitching has been pretty good. I'm not saying they can't add Shohei Ohtani. They don't that much better, but they're not sitting there with a good Lord. We have either him or Dylan Bundy taking up the 5th spot in the rotation. Right. It's not that. And from a hitting standpoint, well, he's been doing a lot of DHing. We've got Buxton at DH right now. He's not yet moved to center field. We don't know if he's going to be moving to center field. So it's also not like an ideal fit.
An ideal fit?
Huh. Yeah. Just one of the best players to ever play the game. Not a fit for the Twins.
Bonus, that's not, no offense to John Bonus, but that isn't nearly as preposterous as some of the idiotic things that I've uttered on these airwaves. And I'm sure pragmatically he thinks that Ohtani would fit just nicely. We would appreciate having him on this team. But that goes back to that money conversation that we were having earlier, just trying to envision, because I'm like you, I want players to make, I want them to make that money. Go get it. The league exists because of the entertainment that you provide fans. It ain't the owners. The owners pony up the front cash and they give you a place to play. Sure. But people will go to watch the players. I don't have a Polad. There aren't many Polad jerseys rolling around, but there are some Buxton jerseys. And there's
maybe signs with Polad on it.
Yeah, but I think then they're just kicked out of the. Yeah. I think they get kicked out of the stadium when they have those signs, depending upon the mood. Maybe that XYZ person, the subject of that sign, might be in. But let me see here. How about this talk back?
Say, Nordo, you can tell the hosts on the fan that the Twins should spend more money on ball players who sit with their feet up all season and don't play. So Lopez might be the latest. Of course, she's only played one of the last 3 seasons. So these guys have spent way, way more money than they ever should have for a bunch of ball players who don't play. And by the way, they traded away a bullpen that was terrible. Gave away ninth inning leads like crazy. Gave away inherited runners like crazy. They did the right thing.
Is that one of the poll ads using the talkback machine? Let me see here if I can find. Nah, probably not. Check the email. I was expecting like tpollad at twins.com. They did the right thing. I mostly would agree with that. When you're looking at the fire sale that took place, there are two things to it. Functionally, you can understand. You have that hometown connection to Louis Varland, who you would eventually see pitching in the World Series. But to that end, I mean, ultimately, you're not looking at a lot of long-term stability that you lost during that fire sale. I think it's the implication of the fire of what the fire sale may mean moving forward that I think struck some people and created quite a stir. More talkbacks.
I fell in love with baseball at 6 years old, and my son is now 6, and I'm trying to get him to be interested in baseball, and the Twins being so incredibly bad makes it so difficult for him to get into, because there's no player to hang on to. There's no fun at the stadium. It's sad, and it makes it real difficult to watch.
Yeah, I appreciate the talk back. I feel that, I don't know, man, when I was 6, you're a little bit younger than me, Brett. When I was 6, I had no concept of what being good or bad in terms of a sports team. Like, I don't know what, like, I didn't feel, so 6, I'm talking about, let's make it even like 8, for instance.
Yeah.
So post World Series 91. I was really excited when I watched the Twins win the World Series. But I couldn't really articulate to you what that truly meant emotionally. And then similarly, even through a large part of the 90s, where there were some very, very lean years as a Twins fan, I wasn't sitting around thinking about how bad it was. I loved going to the Metrodome in the mid-90s just to be there. There was kind of, and I mean, it's the dome, it's stuffy, I get all that, but just at a base level, just connecting, bright lights on it, watching, again, these pros do it at a high level, even again, if in the context of a high level, the Twins were one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. When I was that age, I just wanted to steal a piece of it, steal a moment of it, daydreaming about being Puckett, loved Knobloch in the 90s, all those sorts of things. And maybe that's the case now as an adult, where maybe it's not fun. I love going to Target Field. Target Field's an elite venue. Sadly, the beers are not $1, but I have no control over that. But to that end, like when I was a kid, I needed to be close to it. So I didn't really feel like as a young fan, I don't think I had the emotional wherewithal to connect to. Well, he's only batting .240. Well, that was a terrible throw. Like that guy's wearing my favorite team's name on their jersey. I was in love with that person regardless of what was going on. Now, as I have gotten older, of course, the bitterness has found its way into the mix.
Not enough of some people.
But as a kid, there was still the innocence there. It was a game being played. And hey, that guy that I watch on TV down in Mankato, I'm now seeing him 75 feet from me down on the field. This is unbelievable. This is magical. That's kind of how I looked at it as a kid. So I mean, not every kid's the same, I suppose. But I wonder, when it becomes apathy, how much maybe we as adult sports fans can impact those that are younger. But there's got to be a build-up, a period where you just love it because you're close to it. And then you find out that they're the Twins, and then maybe you move on to something else. I hope he finds the next time they're at the park. I get it. It can be difficult. I get it. But I love bringing my kids there. My kids have no idea what's going on. They just want the helmet ice cream sundae thing. And they love sitting in the sunshine. And anytime something good's happening and the crowd starts cheering, they're on fire.
Or for you when you were a kid, Dome Dog. let's go in there and get that called today.
I've had a number of dome dogs. I've had too many dome dogs in my day. I don't think dome dogs, do they have an expiration date?
Probably.
Probably. You don't want to test it.
That's what I hear. The legend of the dome dog. I hear that all the time.
Yeah, it's finding, just loving it and then but then keeping that. And I do agree over the course of time, that's part of the conversation. You start to feel it. You feel that apathy. If you start to, and when that comes in, how do you get rid of that? You almost need some sort of, I think people were really excited a year ago when you heard, hey, maybe there'll be new owners. They're going to sell the team. And so if you've been apathetic for a long time, it's not just even that they might be playing better. You would need something striking to happen, an ownership change, if that's where you would put a lot of your ire over the course of time. And then it didn't happen. It's like, okay, well, you're selling off half the team. You said you were going to sell the team, and then you didn't. I'm out. There was a lot of that sentiment at the time. And sadly, you're going to the ballpark to want to talk about guys that you can get excited about. Pablo Lopez is one of those guys. And it sounds like there is a strong likelihood that he won't be there this year.
Good morning, Nordo.
Hey.
JD, Florence, Texas. I got one for you. A fan favorite of the Minnesota Vikings, Kyle Sloter. It wouldn't hurt. He's better than J.J. McCarthy. Just my 2 cents. Have a fabulous day. Skol.
Who? You want to talk about, this is a fun time of year. Kind of dream weaving and various things, and we do it. Again, the emotional side of me is going to try and tell you that Cam Dantzler might be something different than what we all see with our eyes. It's tough, and Kyle Sloter, preseason superstar, no doubt about it. But you know what's going to happen. JJ's going to be the starter week 1. So we're going to talk about Burrow. I bring Burrow up. I saw one article, this is probably a month ago now, somebody mentioning just because if you listen to his press conferences kind of down the stretch of the season, a little mysterious, a little contemplative or, introspective at times. Does he want to be here? Does he not want to play? Does he not want to play for the Bengals? Does he not want to play pro football? What's going on with that? And it is he talks about his injuries. Like, this is tough, man. Like, you want to be out there and you just keep stubbing your toe. And for him, some of that could be a literal thing. But between the hand, he's got foot, he's got these other things, the knee, his rookie season. Does he want to play? So now, Joe Burrow, it's like, well, if he was to leave the city and go somewhere, they make that connection. Justin Jefferson's here. I use that name, but you kind of build in this time. I can get irresponsible with it, where you start dream weaving and thinking about these scenarios, and you kind of do the build up to the breakdown. So when Twins fans heard that the Polads were going to sell the team, there was a lot of people very, very excited about it, right? There were party hats. They ordered a cake. They built, we got noisemakers, the whole thing. And you're ready to cut the cake, and then they put that statement out. Surprise! We're staying. No! So I feel like in some ways I'm going to try to be a little more responsible this offseason, where I'm not going to build up completely insane or not insane ideas. We don't know, right? We've got to keep an open mind. But you can build yourself up. It's like, okay, well, 2 firsts. You're like on Madden setting up a trade, and they accepted it. Like Burrow for a couple of firsts. You send McCarthy. Maybe you get Jake Browning back here, some sort of thing as a backup. Basically, just swap QB rooms with a couple of firsts on the side. They need to replace Hendrickson and all of this, and it's just going to work perfectly. You build yourself up to that. And then you know what's going to happen. It's going to be J.J. McCarthy and Zach Wilson. It's going to be J.J. McCarthy and Zach Wilson. That's what's going to happen. Or you're going to see you're going to see Brett Rippon picked up again. John Wolford. You might see 701. You're going to see Carson Wentz again. Building yourself up. You got to be responsible with it because you don't know how it's going to go. But watch out for that. Don't let your hearts be broken. Keep an open mind, but stay grounded over the course of this thing. Oh, it's mid-February, and we're just throwing out names. There's so many names. Carr coming out of retirement. Kyler Murray. Seeing reports that McCarthy can't throw over the middle. Well, that's kind of a problem. Got Tua till you're satisfied. Wherever he is. And then you got Zach Wilson. You got Russell Wilson. You got famous Jameis. The list goes on. It's a tough year for needing a QB. Or do we need one? You can spin this thing in 100 different directions. It's a beautiful thing. What never stops. The enigmatic nature of our favorite football team. The best option is drafting a guy, and then he works out. Can JJ do that? Well, we'll continue to ponder that endlessly, segment after segment after segment, 9 to noon. PA back in the chair tomorrow. Endlessly, until we get an answer. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Zach Wilson. Just don't write that off. Again, get excited, stay grounded. Final segment and a couple more talkbacks. Talker Tuesday brought to you by Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply. We'll put a cap on this thing around the corner, 9 to noon.
Join Muss and Miller Lite at Duke's Pizza Pub in Oakdale this Thursday, 5 to 7. You can stop by for drink specials, games, and register for a chance to win a spot in the Vikings Foundation Golf Tournament. Full details, KFAN.com, keyword golf.
Hey, Nordo. It's your UPS man here. Let's get in the Super Bowl conversation legitimately.
Oh.
Let's make an attempt to go get Joe Burrow. Yes, you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. But if we do the retreads, the Jameis Winstons, the Kirk Cousins, the Derek Carrs, it's going to be status quo. We're going to win 9, 10, 11 games, have a playoff game, exit. Let's go.
Let's go UPS man. UPS man is the tastiest talkback of the day on a Talker Tuesday, brought to you by Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supplies. So, Mr. UPS man, you'll be receiving a $25 gift card for Northern Fire. You can shop online, northernfirebbq.com, or you can just go into store. It's right off of Shady Oak, north of 62 in Minnetonka. So check out Northern Fire, which brings you a Talker Tuesday. So as I just said last segment, let's think big, but stay grounded. He just wants to stay big. Go big.
No, why not?
UPS man can buy some seasonings or some sauces, maybe some pellets at Northern Fire, just in case he has to settle for Zach Wilson. He didn't sound like a gentleman that would be happy if Zach Wilson came to the team. I don't know why I picked that name. It's just, it's
a perfect name to illustrate your point, though. It's a quarterback that has been in the league, was never really good. He had moments of being horrendous, but at times potentially serviceable. And that's what the market is right now. Unless you want to go get Joe Burrow.
I agree with that. Watching the Czechs and the Danes in hockey right now. I mean, as we're spending a Talker Tuesday, talking about something that none of us will find an answer to for at least a few weeks, and maybe not at all, as far as the Vikings are concerned, moving forward, what that thing looks like. We're going to have to wait a while. We have hockey. We got the ladies in the gold medal game. We got the United States facing the men, facing the winner of Sweden and Latvia. Are you feeling Sweden? Is it just the obvious answer?
I think it is. Yeah, they have struggled at times, but I think Latvia, they did pull an upset against Germany, but I just think the Swedes are too skilled that eventually the skill's going to take over, which is the worst. I mean, out of all the teams coming out of this play-in tournament, play-in round to get into the quarterfinals, that to me is the worst because Sweden dropped so many games. They had to play in this part of the tournament. That's the worst matchup the U.S. could have possibly got, is getting Sweden in an elimination game just to make it to the semifinals. So it stinks, but so yeah, I guess go Latvia. But if Latvia beats Sweden, then that means they're a good team as well. But the U.S. rolled them the first time they played.
What about Canada and what appears to be the Czechs?
I mean, I think the Czechs are a solid team as well. They're definitely a tier below Sweden, in my opinion, and definitely a tier below Finland. I mean, it was the four nations face off for a reason. It's the four of them, and then a step down, and then there's everybody else. But the Czechs would be near the top of that everybody else, for sure.
If they move on, or they would not face Canada. They would face either. Well, I mean, I'm just assuming Finland beats Switzerland, but that's not guaranteed. But they would either face the winner of Finland, Switzerland, or Slovakia, Germany, right? They would not face Canada unless it's a gold medal game.
So Finland plays the winner of Switzerland, Italy, which already was Switzerland. That happened earlier.
Switzerland, and then Slovakia, Germany.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay,
so that's the other side.
They wouldn't face Canada in the semifinal.
Correct. Yeah. So there's a reseed. So yeah, the only way the U.S. would play Canada is in the gold medal game. Or I guess potentially the bronze medal game if they both lose in the semis. But let's not talk about that.
No, we don't talk about such things. Yeah. Again, we are emotional and we are optimistic. And we're looking for U.S. v. Canada on Thursday for the ladies. And then I believe that it'd be Sunday. Oof. Sunday morning. Oh, come on, man. 7 in the morning for the men's gold medal game. Seriously. Okay.
Kegs and eggs.
Isn't that, that's exceptionally arrogant of me, by the way, for a sporting competition taking place in Europe, that they must gear the entire schedule so that me in Minnesota, 7 hours before them, that they must gear the timing of every event to what is most convenient for me, again, thousands of miles away.
I think there's a reason that every U.S. game so far for the men's and most of them for the women's has been at 2:10 Central. I mean, that's a 9:10 p.m. start time. Yeah. That's brutal.
No, I should be thankful for that, actually. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that you have to do that, and they're not doing it Sunday morning.
We're used to watching games at 9 a.m.
As a
soccer guys, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's nothing. Kegs and eggs. Let's go. Let's roll.
Kegs and eggs scarves up for your guy, James Rodriguez.
Of course. He changes everything.
Is he the best Colombian ever? Or is it Falcao? Is it Valderrama?
Just by ignorance, I'll say he's the best ever. Okay. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, he looked like he was definitely going to be the best ever, sadly, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while. He ain't the same.
When the first highlight I got sent from my friends was from the 2014 World Cup, and look how good this guy is. That's a problem.
That is a problem. Thanks for hanging out with me today, my friend.
Of course.
That is Brett Blakemore, producer of 9 to Noon this morning. Big thanks to Saucy for a little draft conversation on the front end, sparking a Talker Tuesday, brought to you by Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply. Pat Micheletti, as always, appreciate him, and it was just fun catching up with Parker. I mean, Parker he's kind of on vacation in Milan, but taking the time that he has to spend some with PA last week and with us this morning, just kind of sitting as close as he is with this women's team, embarking on one of the more dominating Olympic performances you've seen. What Team USA is doing and what they likely will do Thursday against the Canucks, the Canadians, is a beautiful thing. And for John Bonus, that's the news of the day, in case you weren't listening earlier, that Pablo Lopez leaving batting practice yesterday, discovering a significant tear in his elbow, and the strong likelihood that he will be opting for season-ending surgery, second opinion in play. But John Bonus during the 11 a.m. hour updating on us on that. Thank you for listening. PA is going to be back in the mix tomorrow. As of now, I believe there may be a Bruce Boudreau appearance, a Jordan Leopold appearance, and much more on a Wednesday, 9 to noon. Have a terrific day, and thank you for listening to The Fan.